Hello, everyone. This is Scratch and Jack, your host for the Amazing Scale Modelers Sunday Hangout. Amazing Scale Modelers is Google Plus and a Facebook community of scale modelers reaching across the scale modeling genres, mediums and inspire friendships from around the world. And today in this Hangout, you'll find it to be an important source of information about the hobby and see firsthand the scale modeling experience. Okay, I got another voice happening there. Let's see if we can pause that a little bit. Okay, very good. All right, this is all news. Google had changed some things here, so bear with me as I try to play host and control person of the show. It looks like we're having similar issues as Liam did yesterday on the Across the Pond, but we'll get through this. And joining me today are the usual suspects to help me kill time and doing all things. And if you want to join us, the live chat is open, and we hope to get to you. So bring your questions, comments. All are welcome today. So just key in. And if you want to join us, just say so on the live chat. I'm going to open a window right now. And just let me know. And I'll try to send you the link to the Hangout. I'm not sure how this is working out, but we'll see if we can get you in. And unfortunately, I try to get Heath in, and Heath is not going to be joining us tonight. And I'm really sorry, Heath. I really tried my best. I thought I'd send you the link, but it doesn't appear that it's going to work. So anyhow, first I'd like to start off with the community roundup. This is some interesting stuff here, kids. Some interesting stuff. We have 3 builds, community builds. I'm trying to satisfy everybody all at the same time. And all these are pretty much for the rest of the year. The first 2 are this, I call the sister builds. One is the Stunt and Speed build. That will be a vehicle that does a stunt or a speed or has performed for the first time some kind of world record and whatnot. And also there's street muscle and custom builds. These, of course, this is the cars you see at the neighborhood fairs, at the car shows, all the fancy stuff. And this is going to be pretty much out of the box. If you want to do builds that are, more intense than just out of the box, that's completely up to you. But we do have a challenge for the community. Liam, yesterday and Across the Pond, introduced our big one for this year, and Dirk Pitt also did a video on the Facebook page, a Star Wars build, or it could be a what if. It could be out of the. No, we want to do a little more than out of the box, like light it, use photo etch, use aftermarket parts, put it in a diorama, try to frame up one of the scenes in the movies. That's pretty much what it is. Something more than just out of the box. And that'll be for the rest of the year. And in December 15th is when the next Star Wars movie comes out. And I hope to, by that point, be able to create our version of the movie with a montage of photographs of all of your builds for Star Wars. And the way it would work, you build it, you take a couple photographs, and you email them to me, and I will put them in hope to put them in a video sometime in December, and we can celebrate 40 years of Star Wars. Go figure. I'm older than that. I'm even older than Star Trek, for that matter, which is 50 years old. So I don't know. This sci-fi kid is not a kid anymore. So my email address is scratchandjackmodels@gmail.com. Now, if you're going to do any one of these builds, it would be appreciative if you sent me a picture for Star Wars, maybe 2 pictures, and I'll collect them. And also, if you leave your snail mail address, get one of these illustrious shop cards from the community from me. I'll send it to you This is a great modeler's price. It's free. So just send me your snail mail and I'll get one out to you right away. And moving on. Boy, that's killing a lot of time right there. Let's see. Oh, I did a poll on the two communities. This is very interesting. I basically asked you all what your favorite airbrush. Basically, it's probably what you're using as your favorite airbrush. And I was actually pretty surprised by the results. I thought Iwata would take it hands down in both communities, but that wasn't the case. In the Facebook community, of course, it was maybe 2 or 3 to 1. Actually, how would that be? No, 2 to 3. I think that would be the ratio. Like 2/3 of you folks use Iwata airbrushes. And at the Google Plus community, you're split between Pache and Badger. Iwata didn't even make it was a distant second. I mean, when you consider Pache and Badger being tied, Iwata was a distant second, and quite the opposite on the Facebook community. Very interesting results. I would say, in all, there was about maybe 40 of you, 50 of you that participated in it. Between the two communities. So I thought that was a very interesting. I'll come up with another poll so we can discuss it. We'll discuss it here if you'd like about airbrushes. What will be easy about them? I know Randall here has used multiple types of airbrushes. Maybe we'll tap into his experience. Well, you have, haven't you? You'd like the single action, double action?
I have one airbrush, double action, which has never been used.
So you use a single action?
Well, I had a single action a few years ago, but I managed to lose a part. Oh, there's it.
Yes, I have. Hey, guys.
Hi, Heath.
The only
Hey.
way that I can see you guys is if I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
And that's pretty bullshit, if you ask me.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you there, Heath.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, the same issue happened on Saturday night, and it seems that I can make calls out, but I can't receive them in. I've checked my settings. I've checked everything.
Check your email?
Pardon?
Did you check your email?
Yeah, nothing turned up yet. Nothing turned up.
Oh, yeah. Well, Google did change things on my end a little bit. I don't see why those changes would have mattered. But long and short of it, my end changed a little bit too.
Well, forgive me for sounding like Mike, but bloody Google. Love you, Mike.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm on. Don't worry, that's Lady Modeler Senior.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like I got your message finally, but that's okay. I mean, we were just talking about airbrushes. I mean, we can get to you right away so your phone doesn't die on us, so you can at least tell us what you were going to tell us yesterday.
Well, let's put it this way. Well, okay. I've completed my street custom build, my Buick Riviera. I'll have to put some photos up, which I have already. That was a good build. That took 20 years. I started that 20 years ago, and I finished it this year. There we are. That's better. I'm still working on the Stunt Speed Jordan. Everything's done. The problem is I can't seem to get the frame and rear downforce to work, to get together properly. It's just, it's a real bitch. Pardon my French, but it's a real bitch to put the flame and rear downforce on the rear downforce onto the back. You can get on the car all right. It's just putting it together. It's an absolute. So, but
Yeah.
the thing is, there for my Star Wars build, I'm going to be finishing. Well, actually, hang on. I'm going to be. Because all I see is my big fat gut.
You've got your t-shirt on.
I've got the right t-shirt on. I've got the right t-shirt.
Right now.
Yes, but I can't put it there. I have to put it on the table.
Oh, look at that.
You can't find me talk glasses wearing blind. Trying to be in my place. Anyway, well, I'm wearing the right shirt for the Star Wars build. After the 3PO. The
I miss you.
For my Star Wars build, I already started Darth Vader, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get. I do not like the cape in it on the Bandai kit. I don't like it. It's hard. I think it's hard to get in, so I'm going to go get some fill and make the robe and make the cape and get a little bit of chainage. Have a little bit of chain for the cape. Yeah, we're going bondage here, folks. Put a chain around the neck. So, what I want to do is I want to try and get fucking a photo. I want to try and get another Bandai Stormtrooper. I've already made one. I want to make another one. I want to get another Stormtrooper so I can make it like Vader's personal guards. I feel like, right? So yeah, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping to get done. Vader's almost finished. Just needs a belt, and I've made the lightsaber. But even so much so that I painted a little bit at the end of the mask silver, nose silver, that little nose of his silver, and the chest plate silver. So it will look nice and pretty. But anyway, back to Randall. Oh, and congratulations, Randall.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Hey, what's that?
Voice just dropped out.
Yeah.
I heard my name mentioned, but I don't know what.
I was just saying, congratulations on the silver and the bronze medal.
Oh yeah, got the bronze medal at the show, right?
Oh, you mean these things?
Oh, those things.
Talk about.
Oh, thank you very much, Heath.
Yes, well, let's put it this way. There's no way I'd be able to win a medal like that. I've got a long way to go.
Yeah, I hear that.
Some of your Formula One builds there wouldn't have looked out of place on the competition table.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I've seen. If I was to win a medal like detailed, I mean very detailed. Instead of paint springs, you use real springs.
Oh, so tell us, what did you get the medals on there, Randall?
I got the bronze medal for the Lotus Super 7 that I built for the Out of the Comfort Zone build last year.
That was a car.
Yeah, my first car I ever made, and I managed to get a bronze for it.
Who's the middle?
I still can't quite get over that. I mean,
so you got a medal, a bronze medal, just a medal,
yeah,
for your very first car build.
Uh-huh.
You missed your calling, mister. Yeah, give up the sci-fi stuff and the airplanes.
Yeah, yeah, but well, yeah. In other news, I got silver for the Mercury Redstone 1/72 scale model. This, hang on, applications. This one here.
Can you guys hear me? Sorry for the interruption. Can you guys hear me now? Because I've got headphones on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Beautiful. It's not so distant now.
All right.
Your voice is not so broken up either.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's funny because no one has ever said that to me since I was a teenager. Your voice is breaking up. Is it really?
So a rocket, Redstone rocket, and your car got you medals. Wow. Wow. Wow.
It just goes to show you can build it out of the comfort zone.
Oh, wait.
I have to admit I was shocked or surprised when my name was called out for both of them. Actually, I was well pleased. I think it's the word express the words you can use.
So which one did you have more? Actually, here's a question, Randall. Which one did you have more fun building?
Fun building both. I think maybe slightly more fun building the Lotus. Although me and the color yellow don't seem to get on too well. I think the nose had to get resprayed at least 3 times, I think, and before I finally got a finish that I was actually pleased with, or happy enough with. Up until then, I kept getting bits and pieces of lint or dust or something like that in it. No matter what I tried to get, to keep everything, dust away from it. And between that and a small Lamborghini model that I did, which was also yellow, which I also had similar problems with, I thought I would swear off the color yellow, never doing anything with yellow on it. Right up until I started doing this.
Oh,
Yeah, your super solution. Yeah.
Guess what? The yellow had to be sprayed at least twice. So
it's Randall. What do you want, Randall?
If I ever threaten to do another model that has this much yellow on it, shoot me.
You know what?
I don't get anything on the green, but I always get everything. Anything that comes along lands on the yellow.
I'm going to say something to this, and you've already started a track record. You're probably going to win a gold on that one.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh my God. This into a contest sometime. Hey. Oh yeah, that's the good news. That's the progress I've made on my my stunt and speed build. Is I'm finally getting a bit of paint on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Things never ending.
Had a bit of fun. I tried to there's supposed to be yellow stripes on the wheel spats. And yep, the yellow devil struck again. When I took the basket off, there was these lovely big divots in the yellow paint. So I had to sand everything down again and repaint it, and I'm just going with the green.
Mm-hmm.
Because when Jimmy Doolittle flew this in the Bendix Coast to Coast race, it didn't have the yellow stripes on the wheel spats. So that's the way I'm doing this.
And you've got the records to prove it. Yeah.
Never going to spray yellow again. Hear me? I'm going to set this down before I drop it.
So I guess after this, you're not going to be painting. Never mind. I was going to say something.
If the Star Wars grip requires me to paint anything yellow, no way.
Well, he could do what Rick's doing, Randall. He's doing
Especially Anakin's Naboo Starfighter.
Yeah.
Nope. Nah.
No. You know what the funny thing is, though? I've got a F1, a Revell Jordan E10, which, funnily enough, is yellow.
Ah, right. Okay. You're welcome to it. I'm never going to build it.
Two F1 cars that are actually yellow. I've got the Lotus 99T, which is the Camel sponsorship Lotus. That doesn't need yellow. It's already yellow. It's the same colour. I don't need to worry about painting that. But the Jordan is a different yellow than the. It's meant to be a gloss yellow. So I'll take yellow right out of your head, Handle. Don't worry about it, mate. Oh, good.
Tell you what, if I do have to build a model that requires some yellow, I'm going to very carefully package it up and send it to you. You can do the yellow on it for me.
Randall, I get yellow? Send it back again? That costs too much.
That's okay. I'll pay the postage both ways. Paying the postage is going to be a lot better than the hassle in painting yellow.
You just have to be a little with it. Go heavy.
I was gentle with it.
I'll tell you one thing. I have a fellow model builder down here who cannot use blue. Blue is the most solid colour to spray, in my opinion. All the blues, the yellows, stuff like that, I find it easier to spray. But when you get to like a gloss, you have to be so fine with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't have any problem.
The other color a lot of people have trouble with is white, but for some reason I never have any bother with it at all.
Colours to paint with. Well, I think.
Yeah. It's really hard to hear you. It's really hard to hear you.
What, me?
Yeah. Talk in your inside voice, not your outside voice. So go figure. I dare you to get out of your comfort zone and you get a medal for it. Wow. I feel like I had a big role to play in that build.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. If you hadn't done this out of your comfort zone build thing, I would never have built a car.
Tonight we have joining us on the chat. Ken joined us. Tony joined us too. Tony can't join us because his wife and kid is with him, and they're right behind him making racket. So he didn't want to join us and make more racket. And David from David's. Where's my cursor? Here it is. David from David's Model Shop says hello to everyone, and he has a 1969 Ford Mercury on his workbench, a 25 scale. So that's what he's working. So speaking of cars, yeah, and speaking of more cars, I'm going to move over to Jim and see what he's up to with his Formula One car.
Oh yeah, okay. So, hi Jack. Hi guys.
Hi.
And
Hi, Jim.
well, I've got some more work done on the wheels, and let's just bring up some pictures. We're getting close to the end now. Where are we here?
Should I stock up on a freeze-dried food or something?
Yeah, we're getting. Yeah, I'm getting some feedback from Randall there.
From Randall or is it Heath?
Yeah, Randall.
Hang on, I'm going to mute myself.
Yeah.
Oh, Heath is okay.
So, okay, from yesterday, I'm just showing the with the steering column, and that we did.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
That is very detailed for a paper model.
Oh yeah, no, it's not uncommon.
That almost looks like it's a real damn thing. I mean, seriously, Jim, it looks like it's the real damn thing.
Well, isn't that what you want to achieve?
So the thing is, you wouldn't even get that type of steering wheel in a plastic kit. I mean, I've got a McLaren. Oh, actually, I'll have to have a look at my McLaren MP430.
Yeah.
Because the steering wheel is exactly like that. All the F1 cars these days have the same steering wheel.
Yeah.
I think. I'm not quite sure.
I believe this is actually a photocopy of the actual steering wheel that's printed on there.
Yeah, it looks like it. But that is, for a paper model, that is very, look at this. That's a paper model. It's just like a, you've got the wife's approval, Jim.
Yeah. And these are the last of the small detail items for the body here.
Oh, yeah, I didn't notice that. I didn't know that they had two cameras.
There's actually 8 cameras on here.
8 cameras?
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, as I said to you yesterday, Jim, I mean, I couldn't believe how many cameras were on my Red Bull. You got 2 cameras underneath the nose.
Yeah.
And then you got one on top. But the whole model kit, it had about like 4 different variations of the camera. I mean, you can have 2 on each side or the one big one on top. So I went with the one big one on top.
Yeah, well, this one's got the one on top, the 2 out in front, which are there's 2 cameras in each of those 2 pods out front. One faces forward, and the other one looks at the brake and front wheel assembly. And then you've got this camera assembly here that also looks at the rear wheels and suspension, as well as looking front and looking down at the steering column, so they can see what the driver sees.
It's amazing what they do these days. I mean, when I was back in the 80s, they had one camera.
Yeah. And then you got this camera, and you got this camera that goes up on the side of the air intake, and that's the one that you see the broadcast image from.
That is just, so much stuff into Formula One these days. No wonder they say it's the most expensive sport.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the cameras they have. I mean,
and you figure you got 3 antennas here. You got a flat panel UHF antenna, which is used for the telemetry. There's a straight antenna rod, UHF antenna rod, which is used for the video, and a VHF rod, which is used for voice communication. This is something I didn't know is it's using pilot tubes and an aerometer for speed indication.
Oh, you get God. More like airplanes every day.
Yeah.
You know what I don't understand about F1 today? I mean, in the 80s, the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, they had really, they seemed to be faster.
Yeah.
And the way I'm thinking is if these cars are supposed to be definitely high gear, for sure. No doubt about that. But it seemed like back in the 70s and the 80s, in the 90s, the old cars were faster with a lower gear range. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, there's more effort put into the powertrain and the engine than into the body design. Now it's computer central as far as the body design and all that's concerned. Pardon?
The bodies have gone through so many changes throughout the years.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the thing about the cameras too, Heath. In the 80s, the camera equipment was larger and heavier. These days, the amount of cameras they have on these cars don't even weigh a pound.
No, they're light. They're only a couple ounces each. The cameras.
So you know, if you're thinking because I've been watching a lot of RC videos. And the cameras are so small, so lightweight. Between the transmitter and the camera itself, you're talking a matter of ounce, not even a matter of ounces. They're so small and so light. And even if you use the premium, not like the RC flying kits do, but if they use a premium type thing, I don't see it being much bigger or heavier, because you know, as you well know, weight matters in a car like this.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it is astonishing how many cameras they can have on this thing, but it doesn't add any serious weight, really.
Oh yeah.
Most of the cameras that they have in these cars are like fiber optic, are joined to fiber optic, and as you said, Jack, back in the 80s, they had big, huge cameras.
Yeah. The camera equipment was a lot bigger, and they had to take that into consideration when putting a camera, let alone 2 or 3, 4, 10. So certainly. But you know though, what's interesting too is those cameras add to the experience to the spectators for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can now. I just ran across this when I was doing some research on the cameras. You can now buy a device for yourself that you can take to a race, and you register it with the race, and you can look at the camera. It's about the size of a cell phone, and you can look at the video from any car that you want to look at in the race, as well as getting all the automatic updates. On you. So I mean,
that's astonishing of what technology has achieved so far. And on the comments, David from David's Model Shop says a paper car. Wow. I mean, he's pretty amazed too. David, you'd be surprised what can be made out of paper, and Jim certainly is the man to show you all the paper. Good thing he lives in Canada, because they've got a lot of trees there for paper.
James' stash is growing in the woods.
Yeah.
Jack,
I was going to say he's got wood, but people might take up the wrong way. I don't know.
Yeah. And so
in the woods. There you go.
Yeah. From a last bit here, as far as pieces now for this car, this is the last sheet, and working on building the wheels and tires up.
Wow.
This is for the front wheels.
those tires. Look,
Yeah.
my model ones.
Mm.
Those look better than the ones I've got my kids. You don't have to worry about them.
Oh yeah, so they build up. And it's neat how they designed them, because they just designed these tires and the hub assembly, so it just slides on the brake hubs on the model. So
That's so cool.
you can take them off and on if you wish.
Mhm.
With or without glue.
You don't have to glue them; they're just friction fit.
Oh,
Yeah.
God! With my plastic kits, you have to. With my plastic kits, you have to screw them on.
Mhm.
You could almost very carefully push the finished model along, and the wheels would rotate.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or at least the tires would rotate around the brake drums.
Yeah. That's the finished front tires there.
Mm.
Oh, yep. Definitely like my plastic kit one. Even better.
Mhm.
That is indistinguishable from a plastic kit.
Yeah. And this is where I'm working on now. This is the rear ones I'm starting on now. So it's where it was as of this morning.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, Tim.
Yeah.
Well, so you're coming to a conclusion on that. You're saying the end is near.
The end is near. I should probably get this pretty much finished by the end of this week.
Nice.
Because there it is with the tires on.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Wow.
I thought you were a modeler, not a doctor.
So then I just got, once I get the tires done, then I just got my little display base to build up.
Wow. Well, I'd just like to continue with the car theme, because I know who's up next, but I just want to finish with the car theme instead of bouncing back and forth. And this is not a paper cut. I cut myself shaving this morning. I'd like to say I was looking so many envelopes for the shop cards going on and got a paper cut, but alas, no. So if you want your shop card, I'm going to drill this into you guys. If you want your shop card from Amazing Scale Modelers community, just email me your snail mail at, send it to me by my email address at scratchandjackmodels@gmail.com. And I'll send you one out, and you can have one of your very own. And I want to also bring up that I got one in return from Richie. He's from the UK, but he goes by the moniker Gyrus. I think this might even be his middle name.
Gyrus, yeah.
He sent me.
Gibbs.
He sent me his card, his YouTube channel card. It looks like.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Got to say, of all the ones that I've got, this is the fourth one that I had received in return, and this is probably the most interesting one that I've gotten. So yes, thank you, Richie, for sending that. And also, after have done so, I realized this is the first time I did a two-tone paint job on a car. I'd never done it before, and I just went ahead and did it. I took masking tape, put it on my sweatpants, and got it less tacky. And after the first color, this is for my custom build.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
This is my 1933 Willie. Is that what it's called? A Willie Coupe?
It's a Willie's Coupe, yeah.
Willie's Coupe. I painted what's supposed to be red in Vallejo, but it's actually a pretty dark brown. But on camera, it looks just like what it looks like on the box cover. And I have to say, I painted these separately, and it looks like the line does match. Let's hold on a second here. Let me get this to. because there is a raised detail on the body that I used as a guide, and there's a line. Look at how neat that looks. This is the first time I did this.
That's turned out really great there, Jack.
Yeah, thank you. I put a little more black on the front than as prescribed from the book cover. Listen to me. The box cover. And the reason I chose this front end pattern is because there were molding seams, and I didn't sand them down before priming and painting. So I just followed the molding seams as a guide to get that done. I don't know. I kind of like it only because the back end is black too. I thought the front end should be to get some sort of balance between the front and the back.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I like those colors. I like I like the combination of colors, man.
Oh, do you really? I think it's kind of foreboding. It's not very festive when it comes to like a custom car.
It makes a change from all the usual candy colors,
Well, sometimes it makes them look a little more aggressive when you do them like that color.
Well, true. So that's I just realized that this afternoon because I was working on the chassis and the suspension. I mean, this kit had practically no styrene parts. Most of it was all this cheesy chrome stuff. But this, I found the seat, the passenger seat, Jim.
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah, I found it. I threw some paint on there and got the brush on. Boy, this light is awfully bright coming down here. There. Because all this chrome. There, that looks good. That's a little bit of the interior. There's not much of an interior to this.
That car reminds me of a ZZ Top Ford.
It's a what?
It reminds me of the ZZ Top car.
I think he says it looks like the ZZ Top car.
Oh, see, that won't focus. Won't focus on. But there's a lot of chrome on this suspensions. I haven't learned how to chrome yet. Take the factory chrome off and put my own chrome on here. But I have to, as y'all know, that you got to scrape away this chrome stuff in order for the styrene glue. I just use the Tester's red tube. Heaven forbid. And that's how I glue my chrome parts on. But the bottom part where the axle is, I used 5-minute epoxy because there was no way that little surface, even with styrene exposed, is going to hold this axle on. So I used a lot of. I haven't taken photographs of it yet. I probably will at some point, but I even had to cut the manifold, the exhaust manifold in half because the way this is such a bad fitting kit. But I had to make a lot of concessions on putting as many of the parts as possible, like the starter. I had to remove the starter because it wouldn't fit between the engine block and the chassis frame. So I just eliminated that. And the manifold for the exhaust, I had to cut it in half and then cut a piece out of it so I can accommodate a support for the engine. I'm not sure if I can actually show this, but you can see little things sticking out the side of the engine block. And the white things is the exhaust manifold. The exhaust manifold does not go underneath that. It's cut in half so that I can put that in. And I thought that was very important to put the exhaust manifold in. Otherwise, I have nothing to attach the exhaust system to. But yeah, this has been a wee bit of a challenge in so much that it is. I feel as though it's a kit that they crapped out of a mold machine, and I'm just dealing with the issues. There's some interesting things about it, but certainly I got this as a sale as is box. This is how I got the box from the hobby shop. It was an as is, a red tag, $10. But that's the cover. There's a decal that does that scallop on there. So I'll put that on there too as well. I was kind of debating whether to do it like the box cover or do my own paint scheme. But as it turns out, luck would have it, I had a whole bunch of this Vallejo paint. You know, I can't even remember what I used it for, actually. But I mixed a crap load of this. This is not the same as I got out of the tube. It's a very similar shade, but I'd say this is pretty brown. But if it's done very lightly with an airbrush, it's more reddish. But I put it on pretty heavy on the body, and it's actually very brown. Vallejo calls it red. I don't know. I guess in Spain it's red. Brown is red. And I had to either darken it or lighten it. I'm not sure which. And I had a half a bottle of this stuff and thinned out the wazoo. This is very thinned out paint.
Yeah.
And it went through the airbrush like no problem. In fact, I had to hold back my spray considerably to get a heavy, dark coat. And I did it in 3 layers, actually. The black was in 2 layers, but the black is just primer. It's not even paint. I use, when I like black, I just use primer. And the black paint I use to brush on to smaller parts. If the smaller parts require them to be black, I just brush it on. But when it comes to airbrushing, like a body, like I've done actually a black Mustang, and that's a primer color. That's not even paint. That's just primer. And Vallejo makes, I feel as though you thin it just right for your airbrush, and it lays really, really flat. And I have to say, I got a very nice finish on this primer. So to all you out there, if you're just, doing black with Vallejo paints, you don't have to use the paint. Unless if you want to spray the glossy black, because this you can just gloss up yourself nonetheless. And it comes out kind of a semi-gloss anyway. But I'm probably going to make this not a shiny car. This is going to be a dull-coated car once I'm done. Put the decal on, get the floor wax on there, put the decal on, put more floor wax on there, and then do a dull coat. Because I posted pictures of my Stunt and Speed build. This would be my Spirit of St. Louis. And the idea on this was it performed a stunt. It's the first aircraft to cross the Atlantic in one sitting, in one flight.
I just saw that this morning. I just saw that this morning on the Google Plus. So
yeah.
Yes, I'm back on my iPad now, fellas.
Yeah, they look great. Pictures look good.
My phone camera is so horrible. It looks like it was done with a black and white camera, but no, that's a color camera. I mean, if you look at one of the pictures close enough, you can see that the flags on the underside are color right here. This is when he accomplished the feat, and he put the flags of the countries that he toured in after his flight. And this was Bob put me up to this. Bob built this. Bob Busking built this. He did a lot better job than I did. I just did this. I didn't pay much attention to the details. I didn't pay much attention to my technique. I just wanted to build it. And I think it turned out pretty good for not really caring about technique and the way it looks in the final analysis. as it turns out, the decal is done on there so well. I did such a good job with not even caring that you can't even see the fact that it's a decal. You can't see the seams, the edges. What do they call that? What is it called? When you see the edges of the decal?
Oh, the silvering?
The silvering?
Yeah, silvering.
No, you can't see it on this. And the decals weren't particularly thin or particularly thick. They were just decals. They went on very easily, and I covered it with a couple layers again with what we call future floor wax. But I use the Home Depot Rejuvenates, and all this label says is that it's a it says a urethane-based finish. That's what you want to do. You can spray this through your airbrush. I brush it on. And let it dry, and it dries really quick. It dries in about 30 to 40 minutes, enough for you to put another layer on there, and then you let it sit overnight. And then I have some dull coat, and I use dull coating it because the paint itself is so damn shiny too. But that's what I did for this, and I'm kind of happy with it for not really caring about technique. Not like go ahead.
The polyurethane finish, you brush painted that, and it's self-leveling like Future or Clear.
Yeah, it is. It is self-leveling. Yes, very much so.
Nice.
Very much so. Very much so. It would have to have that characteristic for the floors, but there is something in this. I do not stir it, mix it, shake it. I don't do any of that. In fact, I let the bottle sit like this for weeks and weeks, and I just gently pour it into a smaller container, a little glass jar, and I let it sit, because there's something in there that gives it a texture. And I don't know what it is. I'm kind of tempted throwing it through a coffee filter or something, see if I can catch to see whatever it is that is causing a texture. And I certainly don't, and I've ruined a lot of kits, a lot of finishes with that floor wax. And I realized, well, everything settles out, so that's what I did. I let it sit and let it sit, and just take what's on top. So I really don't even do it through the airbrush anymore, because it gets mixed up when you're pouring it into the cup for the airbrush. And you can't necessarily let the airbrush cup sit for a couple of weeks, but that's what I've come to do is just let it sit for a while. So just use what's on top, and sort of like the cream on milk sort of thing. If you know what milk can do, settle out when it's coming up straight from the cow. Yeah, Tony, I'm showing everybody my willy.
Disgusting, man. This is disgusting. He shouldn't be allowed on YouTube. This shouldn't be allowed on Hangout. What the hell?
Yeah, what do you got friends for, huh? Thanks, Ken. Thanks, David, for the compliment and doing a nice job. As I said, this is the first time I did a two-tone. I was just thinking the way you guys do it. I didn't cover the whole thing in that red-brown paint. I just covered the area that I needed to be covered. And once I got a nice solid covering, I masked it off with the masking tape, and then did the black. And that was that. Yeah, always start with your lighter colors first and go dark.
Well, since I'm on my iPad, can I just show you my Buick just quickly?
Oh, sure. Go right ahead.
There she is. Engines all in.
Ah,
Nice and black.
Very
What
nice.
I'm really proud of is the interior.
The blue interior, nice. The blue vinyl seats with the racing stripe on it, no less.
Yeah.
Those are nice seats.
And
Yeah.
it's got a beige interior. I know, beige.
Yeah. Don't you love them, that era, that if you got rear-ended, you got whiplash real good,
Yeah. Well, this is the '66 Riviera.
Yeah, that's nice. That was a big ass car.
This is probably the biggest car I've ever flown and well seen compared to what I've been building. Well, let's put it this way. Compare this with the Enzo and the Camaro. This one's the longest car and the longest car I have built.
The longest? You mean longest in size? You mean longest in size?
Longest in size.
Oh, okay.
Such a long car, and yet it was only a 2-door coupe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had those lovely, lovely, let's put the seat forward jobs so you can get in the back.
Yeah, you can put a family of Aussies in the trunk.
You could actually. You could put the shopping.
And those doors that take a parking space and a half.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. I've actually seen the actual boot in the back. I've actually seen one of these cars. And the thing is, I asked the guy if he could open up the boot here. You could fit golf clubs, plus flaming families, plus the shopping. It's huge. It's probably the longest, as I said, probably the longest car I have built. And the thing is, I was going to put the decals on, but because this was like a 20-year build, the decals were absolutely shocking. As soon as you put them in the water, you took them out, and you put them on the car, they'd fall apart.
They dissolved, yeah. Yeah, they were too old. Yeah.
But I did use, before I finish, I did use, for the glass, some lovely PVA glue.
Nice. Nice.
And I'll tell you what, this stuff works the treat.
Nice.
It says, it's got here, ready for use, dries in clear. So that's so there we go, the front window, whoops, there goes the boot, off you go, good. There's the front window, used with the PVA, the back window, used with the PVA. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That is the best glue I've seen for windows. Now, on we go.
And Jim, David from David's Motor Shop also said he was impressed with your car, with your paper car.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
So, he's and Gearhead Workshop said it's good to see Heath health. Listen to me. Good to see that Heath made it into the hangout. He probably missed you yesterday. Hey, there was someone else that missed you yesterday there, Heath. Gearhead.
Well, you know, I'm just a lovable guy, you know.
You're
I'm a lovable Aussie.
Yes.
We all love you, Heath.
You're our teddy bear.
While you're there, here's the yellow car.
It burns! It burns!
Bloody hell.
I'm melting.
Bye, Randall.
Send it to Randall. He'll be more than happy to build it and paint it yellow.
Randall will probably look at that thing and throw it on the ground and say, "I'm not painting yellow."
That turned up my doorstep. The postman's not going to get. He's not going to get a handing it over to me and say, "I'm not going to have that." Nope.
But what about if it was a Ferrari? You take it back.
Ferrari's not a problem. It's red.
Well, you wouldn't like one of the other models I've got here. I've got a Blue Angels F18 Hornet here, and that's got yellow in it.
Well,
that's a yellow car, though. That's not even yellow. That's a banana.
Blue Angels, most of that's decals, isn't it?
Actually, no. The actual plane doesn't have the yellow decals. You have to paint them on. So.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, well, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen.
Well, without any further ado, I think we stalled him long enough about all this shenanigans. Keith, how you doing, Keith?
Oh, not bad. How's everybody?
How's Monday morning for you
Keith
too?
nearly forgot he was here.
He doesn't miss calls.
I was doing a lot of base coat on this guy here.
Oh, the Ornithopter.
Oh,
Yeah. I was doing some. I was doing some silver and whatnot else on something or other else over there, and it flicked everywhere, and it got all over this Ornithopter. So I have to go back and sort of base it black. And funnily enough, a lot of the metal on this is actually going to be black. So it will be, because the black's going to be a cross between black and blue and white, you know, to give you that sort of blue-black, if that makes any sense. It's still going to be hand-painted, so, yeah. So I just thought I'd get it back to black before I started on it.
Is this your new studio, Keith?
Yeah. Yeah, she's all
lovely.
together, finally.
Looks
So
lovely.
I
Now, is it inside the house or outside the house?
Under the house.
under the house?
It's
Under
under
the
the house. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Man,
Lordy, look at the benches he has and all the lamps and all the toys.
Is that daylight out there?
yeah, that's daylight.
It's on
That's
the
daylight.
It's on the roof.
Oh, look at that. Then your extension, your paint booth. Look at that paint booth. It's huge.
That was a Maquis Raider that sneaked past there.
Yeah.
I
Okay, right
I
up.
saw that. I thought I saw that.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, that paint booth is so big that he could put small animals in there. And
Oh,
No,
look at that.
I want to do the same thing to that kit. That is really sweet. That is really sweet.
Have you actually finished that?
No, I actually did it like a roughing of all of the detail on it, and stuck it into Coral Draw and whatnot else, and got all the templates made. And then my laptop at the time promptly fell over and died, and I lost absolutely everything, including the thin flying saucer. I had to do that from scratch. I was so peeved off. So yeah, so consequently, I've been redoing the Marquis Raider and the thin flying saucer again in Corel Draw, because it's not really, the Marquis Raider is reasonably easy to do because he's just a roughing. You just do a roughing of it, and then you put it into Corel Draw, and then scan it off, put it into Corel Draw, and then all you have to do is go around the edges and whatnot else, and you've got your pattern. But yeah, so I've been doing base for
Is it for Rom?
Deadpool.
Oh, Deadpool. Okay.
Yeah. So he's got sort of lots of browns and greys and.
Does that figure stand on a missile or a bomb or something?
Yeah, there's a big bomb. I don't like the way the bomb's turned out. I don't know. I don't think it should be quite so scratched. I'll have to redo that again. Wasn't really impressed. So yeah, it sort of sticks out of the base.
I don't know. It's
kind of plain.
It got stuck into the ground there. It's going to have like kind of a rough passage, so it should be scratched.
Could get maybe not that much, but I don't know. I might give it another airbrush or something and take some of it down. Anyway, the base is the rest of the base has sort of come out all right. Wasn't really happy with the missile, but I'm in the middle of doing the other bomb was all right. I like that bomb.
Yeah.
Ah, Duck, he's got a bomb.
That one turned out all right. And it took me absolutely ages to seam up this guy and fix him up, which is the smoke.
Right.
So I'm going to airbrush in the smoke. I'm not going to hand paint the smoke. It's too hard.
I was trying to think what part of Deadpool looked like that.
Yeah. A very manual part of Deadpool.
Yeah.
So that's that. ROM is I finished. I had, you know, the canopy glue and whatnot else. I stuck that in the holes for the ROM base.
Yeah.
And it blocked everything off. Like I couldn't see any of the lights coming out. So I had to go back and drill it all out again, get rid of all the crap, re-white all the holes up, and then re-gloss coat it. You can see it's
Pretty shiny.
That is shiny.
it's pretty shiny. So re-gloss coat it. So I have to wait another couple of days but that's all done. And the blue light shines out really nice, and it shines out on, obviously, the underside of this guy. So the blue shining up looks quite good, and ROM. So I think I've showed.
So that's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ROM. And hang on a sec. Two. Power.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that is nice.
I like you got the lights are subdued even on camera. They're not like glaring back at you. That's very cool.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of that was more by accident, because I was putting black over the top of his eyes and stuff like that. So it's fairly bright before, and I just did a coat of like smoke, and then looked at it again, and then did another coat of smoke, and looked at it again, until I got to a point where that doesn't look like he's going to burn your face off with his eyes.
Right.
So yeah, right. So, but that, man. So you actually can't see his eyes or anything like that. So yeah. Oh. But this will hook into.
David's model shop likes your workshop. He thought it was very nice. Of course, we all think the same thing too. We are all green with envy. We're just trying to figure out how to bump you off and just move that room to the States. That would be the United States, and not the Aussie States where you're at.
Well, let me put it this way. As a joke, Keith, send me up there. I'll plant a bomb under the desk with a keyboard, with a piano, and he plays that lovely little tune that they do on the on the cartoon. And with my luck, he misses it, and then I come in, boom. Yours.
Backfire or something. I just about got a whole bunch of stuff that's just about finished. I want to finish the thin flying saucer and the marquee raider. They're two I want to get finished off. Basically, ROM is finished. I just have to wait for things to dry and stick him on the base and stuff like that. Then I'll take some pictures of him. So yeah. Other than that, that's about it.
Yeah, there you go. Very cool. Very cool stuff.
And how's the weather in Queensland?
A little bit overcast at the moment, but generally, if this is what they call winter, then I would be amazed.
Wow.
You mean to say this is your fall, not your winter?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This will be your fall. Yeah.
The winter is yet to come.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but winter for him would be like a hot summer day for us.
Yeah. Especially here in the UK.
Where I am, it's clear blue sky.
It's crazy.
12 degrees.
Well, Tasmania, it's, most days are like, 10, 12, a balmy day in Tasmania is like 20 degrees. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like
That
here.
is a dreadful day down here. 20 degrees and they're all putting jumpers on up here. heard this one lady the other day, and she goes, "Oh, it's starting to get nippy, isn't it?" And I just about laughed in her face. It's like, you've got to be kidding me, right?
It gets to 20 degrees here, and people start taking the jumpers off.
So Keith, I was mentioning earlier that I did an informal poll on the Facebook and the Google Plus communities about airbrushes, and well, it didn't surprise me that Iwata took the cake, but what did surprise me at what margin Iwata took the cake over at the Facebook community, and at the Google Plus community, Pache and Badger came in tied with Iwata, pretty much a distant second.
Yep.
So I find it interesting that you type A personalities over at Facebook like the Iwata, and us B personality, kick back, relax guys at the Google Plus communities like the other ones.
So what am I? I must be a C. I must be a C. I like Harder and Steenbeck.
There you go. There you go. There. And you see, that's why I brought it up to you, because you, looking at the size of your, if size means anything, the size of your spray booth does say that, you know, you take your painting seriously, and I'm sure you take your airbrushes seriously too, just the same. And you're just showing a small little slice of what you actually do in airbrush, you know. And it's actually quite interesting that you stick with what you stick with, and what we all stick with is what we all stick with. Well, but I have an intention to try the different ones nonetheless.
Yeah, I find that a lot of airbrushes, or most airbrushes, you know, like your Badgers and Iwata and what else, and Harder and Steenbeck, I don't find the spray to be that much different in between. You know, like if you've got a 0.2, you know, Iwata and a 0.2 Badger and a 0.2 Harder and Steenbeck, I don't see the too much difference in between the spray patterns. They're much of a muchness. What did turn me on to Harder and Steenbeck is the fact that you can strip these things down. I'm talking strip down, take the needle seals out the lot. You can do that in seconds. And you can put it back in seconds. And what I like about that is when you want to completely clean out an airbrush, I can just, there's a little tool that you have to buy, but I can take out the needle seals, completely clean the whole internal part of the airbrush, put the needle seal back in, because you don't want to wreck those, and you've got a completely, almost brand new airbrush, and it took you seconds to take it apart, seconds to put it back together. I find the head on the Harder and Steenbeck, instead of being really small, teeny weeny like a lot of producers have on their airbrushes, these are actually comparatively large. You also don't have to screw them in. They're a pressure fit. So it's very easy to come apart like that. It's very easy just to unscrew the end off of them, take the head out, blah, blah, blah. Instead of having to unscrew them and screw them back up and micro miniature things, this is comparatively large. I also find when you take things apart, the needle, the trigger and the lever assembly on Harder and Steenbecks is all one part. The same with your tensioner at the back, your needle tensioner and whatnot else. That's all one part, so it can just come out as one instead of coming out as lots of multiple little bits and pieces, and it takes you a lot to put it back together. That's the only reason why I went for Harder and Steenbeck. It is incredibly easy to take them apart and incredibly easy to put them back together again. That's about it.
To clean them. To clean them, easy. Definitely.
And very easy.
Definitely.
Well, my airbrush is a Delta.
Yeah, they're not bad, the Delta.
The thing is, I like this one because I think it's I don't know. See, I don't know the difference between gravity fed and bottle fed. I don't get it. If it's an airbrush and it works, it works.
Well, that would be gravity feed. It almost sounds as though you can probably attach a bottle to it.
Yeah.
If you're doing a lot of like a lot of airbrushes are being used for auto body, and even small ones like this could be used for auto body. So, and with auto body, you probably have a big surface.
I just show you the harder and Steenbeck. Literally, it is incredibly easy to having said that.
No, that one breath.
You just unscrew the front, and the actual the tip is relatively large.
Yeah.
It's
on my Neo, mine's a tiny little thing. You're afraid you're going to lose it.
Yeah, and push that through the front. But when you come to actually undo the back, this whole assembly is
comes out in one piece.
Comes out in one piece. Same with your trigger and your lever comes out in one piece. And you have to buy this little tool separately. But when you don't want to do a complete clean, you just take out the needle seal all in one. And that way you can get all the way through the airbrush.
Get a good brush in there.
Yeah, get a good brush, and you can, you know.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
So it is. So it is incredibly easy.
Put a blindfold on and put it back together again.
It takes like 5 seconds. You know, like a lot of times that assembly there can be a real pain.
Yeah.
But I forgot to put the seal back in it anyway. You know, and then basically you're back together again. Really, really, really easy. That's what I like about Harder Steenbeck. It's really easy to take things apart and put them back together. And that, for me, is probably one of the big things. That,
yeah.
You know, the ease of which you can take things apart and put them back together. Because having cleaned, you know, so many airbrushes and whatnot else, I just went, this is a pill. You know, especially the needle seal.
Yeah.
You know, that can be a real problem. Whereas, you know, I think I forgot to put it back in again. 2 seconds to put the needle seal back in. And so, yeah, it's a pretty easy thing to take.
Yeah, Gearhead said that gravity feeds needs less pressure to feed the paint. Clearly, yeah. Siphon, I don't know. Depends on a lot of factors. Just as your thing is to ease of pulling it apart, cleaning it, and get ready to right away as quickly as possible. Certainly, I could see the benefit of your airbrush, definitely. And where is that made?
Germany.
Germany. Yeah, that almost seems like German engineering right there. Sure.
Yeah, and also in the more advanced ones, you've got a needle limiter. Now I know they're common on most airbrushes. You can wind in your needle limiter and stop your trigger from coming back. Well, on the high-end ones, they've actually got a little thing where you can wind it in and lock it in, and when you don't want it anymore, you can just pull it back, and it, you know, completely frees it up. You want to go back to that same position again, you just push it back, and it takes it back to that same limit.
Auto resets
wind it back in and wind it out, stuff like that. Once you've wound it in,
yeah,
you've got
do the
right
preset.
position.
Yeah, because if I use the preset on mine, I have to screw it in and screw it out all the time.
I'll show you. It's only in the top of the line ones, but see, that's once you push that in.
Yeah.
You've got to you set your you know how far you want your trigger to come back.
Yeah.
Once you're finished with it, pull that back, and you've got the full movement again.
Oh,
if you want
that's
that
great. Yeah.
Back again, then you just push that, and your needle limiter's there again.
Yeah.
So Harder Steenbeck came up with that. You know, like it's just one of these. They're just one of these airbrush companies that looks at all the best things about airbrushes and innovations and stuff like that, and puts it into their airbrush. And I was actually taken aback when the first time I actually used one, which was a few years ago. I just went, "Wow, this thing is really good." Which I was surprised because I tried.
But Gearhead did say something about pressure. I'm thinking he might be talking about air pressure. Do you keep your what you see now? That's a gravity feed you have there. What is the air pressure you use for that airbrush?
Well, it depends on what paint I'm using. Usually it's about 15 to 20 psi for normal acrylics. If I use metallics and whatnot else, I drop it down to about 10 psi, 10 or 12 psi.
Wow. Okay.
Or if I'm using, I've got spray guns as well. If I'm using a spray gun, I'll probably turn up to 35, 40 psi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know on a siphon you have to push. It's up to close to 40 psi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to push acrylic, and that acrylic is even thinned out too, for that matter. So, yeah, it does take a lot more pressure.
I don't have any siphon feed airbrushes anymore. All the spray guns I've got and airbrushes I've got are all gravity feed. But when you start getting up into a spray gun size things, then you really do need a sort of a lot more volume there to get them to run properly.
Well, I gotta go, guys. I'll talk to you all later.
Okay, Heath.
Right.
All right,
See you
Heath.
later.
Well,
See you later.
well, gee, that Heath made it in finally. I was actually feeling bad for him when I was watching the Across the Pond that Liam did. I was feeling bad for him, but yeah, I'm glad he was able to quite a bit to tell us. I mean, maybe we should just. No, we can't do that to him. We have to have it more than once a week, and we need him twice. Well, there you have it. I just want to show something real quick here. Of course, these builds. I don't have one for the Star Wars build, but certainly I intend. Somebody likened it to being a millennial. I don't know. I think that's kind of harsh to say, but because I'd like to do, as I mentioned earlier about the group builds, the Stunt and Speed, the Street Muscle and Custom build, I call them the sister builds. They're all about cars mostly. Of course, I did an airplane, so was Randall doing an airplane for the Stunt and Speed. But like the Star Wars build, I mentioned that whenever you guys get them built, you're taking the pictures. You find your best picture, you email it to me. I do a montage for the community. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, well, I don't know about the music though, but we'll figure it out. But I want to do the same thing with the sister builds too, the Stunt and Speed and the Street Muscle Custom. And I also will send you the shop cards for these builds. And this happens to be the shop card for the Stunt and Speed right here. Yeah, and they'll have a commemoration on the back side of it, basically with your name, thanking you for participation in the community build. So that's the Stunt and Speed, and let's see, that was on I think a JPEG, but this next one is on a PDF file. Get these printed over the summer. I'll be sending these out to ones who want them, who have built them, who have emailed me a picture or two of your builds with your snail mail. I'll send you out one of these, commemorating the moment that you participated, and basically that'll be your running. Oh, I'll have running credits too on the montage film too. So this is just all to show not just my appreciation for your participation. There'll be one for a Star Wars one too, but not just my participation, my appreciation for it, but for the community. and I think our moderators would agree with me, that sometimes we just got to put a fire under your butts to do things. To see what you can do. Hey, if you're just starting out, and this is going to go double for those just starting out in the hobby, somebody who is brand spanking green at it, as well as having returned after so many years of layoff, coming back to the hobby, you don't think your skill's that great. You know what?
Post it.
You know what? Everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah.
And everybody has something to show that we can all appreciate. So don't be shy. Make comments on other people's, ask questions on other people's posts, as well as if you're watching this, you can do the same thing too. Don't be shy. Post your things, and trust me, if you have watched the comments on any of the two communities, you'll immediately see how supportive our community is to all kinds of builds, whether it be cars, armor, sci-fi, figures, whatever airbrush you use, whatever painting technique you use. I've seen Heath do questionable paint jobs, but he does paint jobs that are out of this world too. I don't know what he does, but he does a variety of paint jobs. So I can appreciate his work, and I can appreciate the paper that Jim uses, and so on. I mean, this is what the community's about, and this is a part of it. And somebody said this is like a participation award, like the millennials are used to getting. Well, okay, if that's the way you think about it, then don't participate. But I'd like to thank you all for your participation and show the appreciation for the amount of time, the amount of effort, the artistry, the development of your skills, and so on that it takes to be in this hobby. And it's a hobby that needs to, I feel, grow maybe. I don't know if I'm getting into a 3D aspect of it, using computers to create models. I've done one of them. Haven't printed it yet, but certainly I'll get around to doing that too.
I think it's all about the fun.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's what it is. And
it doesn't matter what it turns out like. Just as long as you're having fun when you're doing it. It doesn't matter if it turns out like a Mona Lisa or it doesn't. It doesn't really matter. Just as long as you're having fun when you're doing
it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Randall is the sci-fi builder who went out of his comfort zone and got a medal for it from a model show. The first ever built car that he's done. He's got a bronze medal in a show. So this is not so much about genre. This is about.
Sorry, the throat's got. Oh, Jack's frozen.
Oh. Uh-oh. We've lost Jack.
Yeah, Jack's froze.
Just when he was getting into full swing.
Yeah.
And by the way, Randall, I'm thinking about doing that. I'm thinking about doing that Hornithopter in yellow.
We wait for Jack to get back. Something Jack and I were talking about is maybe we're interested in doing is something old school, real old school from our youth.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
A balsa build.
Oh my goodness.
Very nice.
Uh-huh.
Do you cover the outside of that in something, or what do you do?
Pardon? It's a static.
Oh, yeah, but,
it's a static model.
All I can say is GD to Google.
Yeah.
Just as I was making a point here, but certainly I finished my point anyhow. Anyway, Go ahead. Oh, just one last, just to reiterate, my email is scratchandjackmodels@gmail.com. Go ahead there, Jim.
Yeah, no, just what we were talking about earlier in the week about doing a old school balsa build. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So something
I'm
that
looking
later
forward
we're
to
going to
it.
do later. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all balsa and vacuum form parts. So.
Yeah, maybe
Oh,
next year that could be the.
Whether you cover the balsa in anything, you know, like you leave it like that, like on a cover, or do you
Well, you can do it either
cover
way. This model is designed that you can display it as just an open frame, but
Yeah.
they do supply silk span to cover it with.
Okay.
So it's
I think we got our next year's intense build going on. I'm going to see how many people will be interested in doing an old school build, because guess what? I don't think anybody in this community has coughed one of them up.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a build for next year, and we'll make suggestions on where and what to purchase as far as that's concerned. That's going to be that's going to be next. I'm going to say that's going to be next year. I'm going to write that down. Next year's intense build, like the Star Wars build, is not simply out of the box. That's going to be, we're going to call it the old school build.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be a good idea for next year. So hang on to your.
Oh yeah, no, I'll say it'll
Underwear.
hang here in the stash. And,
hang on to your underwear. We're going that direction, kids.
Yeah.
Using white glue and wood, sandpaper, like the old schoolers did back in the day. But certainly, that's a good idea. Anyhow, I think we have done with a pretty late start. I'm not even sure how long we've been on the air, but I'd like to thank you all for joining us. And if you're watching on the Amazing Scale Modelers channel, there are past episodes to take a look at. And I think I did a pretty good job in trying to include you all in the live chat. At least I hope I did, until Google said, no more, your speech is too long. But certainly, I'm glad that you all did participate at the levels that you did. Maybe next time you'll, everybody, because I've been seeing the count. We've been hovering between 9 and 15 viewers during the broadcast, and only a short handful of you did participate in the live chat. I appreciate it. It sure gave some interest in our conversation if you can join us. And so in a couple of weeks, I'll be back for Across the Pond Hangout in 2 weeks on a Saturday. That will make it Saturday the 20th of May. That is, Mother's Day weekend is coming up here in North America, and at least the United States, this coming weekend. But in 2 weeks, it won't be anything like that. But certainly May 20th will be Across the Pond, and the 21st on Sunday. Get you Aussies in. I'm glad you came by there, Keith. It's been my honor and pleasure of having you here participating in our live broadcast. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me in.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't get Dirk in. Had trouble with Heath, and somehow I got to figure this out as to Google did change things on my end a little bit, and I think because of the changes, this is happening. And every time, like, I didn't have enough time to give feedback when I got knocked out, but certainly I would have given them feedback if I had the time. I had already close this up. And thanks, Jim, for putting some use to some paper and making your models.
Well, you're welcome.
And also, you're never going to live this down between the color yellow and your first car build. Maybe you should have told us, or told me anyway. I'm going to drill it into the ground until you're going to buy a plane ticket just to deck it, you know?
Anybody know the name of a good hitman in the States?
Well, thanks, Randall, for sharing, and just to check out the communities, because Randall took a lot of pictures of the show that he went to Dublin this past weekend, and some of them are actually quite extraordinary. And congratulations also to Randall.
I haven't
And
actually
thanks.
posted them yet. The pictures you're seeing are actually of the Scotland show last weekend.
Oh.
Yeah,
The
so
Scotland show.
I haven't actually. Yeah, I haven't actually got as far as posting the pictures from the Dublin show yet. That'll probably be tomorrow because it's like 2 a.m. here.
Yeah.
Tomorrow will be in a couple of days. Yeah, okay.
Later on today, I should say.
And you all watching, thank you so much for your participation. And happy modeling, everyone. You got lots to do. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.